happy greeting. I shouted, even my children, I said, I don't understand. No happy Mother's Day. My daughter gave me I love you, mom, because they did it in children's church on Sunday. I said, this is all your mommy gets for being an awesome mom.
No,
even my sister, I was like, I don't want Happy Mother's Day just like that. You will have to talk. You tell me it is. Why are you grateful for me?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
now.
there has to be a lot of pampering and appreciation and all of that.
Very, very, I don't even understand. Meanwhile, if it's Father's Day now, I'm the one that's rallying the children. Oh yeah, you guys do this. Oh yeah, you guys do that.
Well, they complain and they ask, how many Mother's Day do we want to
Please
celebrate?
I don't understand. We have Women's Day on the 8th of March. That's not Mother's Day. We also have International Women's Day in March. The same way we have International Men's Day in June. In November, because Father's Day is in June. Now for the Mother's Day, the UK one was on Sunday last week. The
America will be May.
I mean, like,
it's not our fault.
It's not our fault.
They should try and step into motherhood and see how it feels.
Somebody, if you tell them now, they'll say you to step into fatherhood, and I'm like, there are women that are doing fatherhood and motherhood work together.
Work together.
Please, don't stress us. Anyway, you're tuned to Women Radio 91.7 FM. We just had a little banter this morning, and I'm sure that our men listeners will call. That's your business. So your call. I'm ready for you. This is the Daily News Review program, and we're just going to run through the headlines this morning, and then look at the ones that caught our eye. Before that, those of us that are home on holiday. You see, I called this thing when they went ahead to announce this thing. I said they are doing this thing prematurely, and from the looks of things, we are going to get a 3-day holiday. Yesterday night, I went to church, and somebody was telling me how it was intentional. I said, no, you have to walk me through these intentionalities. Apparently, they intentionally announced these 2 days because they knew it was actually going to be 3 days. Why? You might want to ask. Thank you very much for that question. Apparently, there's allocation for holiday, so they get more money, whether bags of money or whatever money. I was like,
I don't understand.
I was surprised too. And the people that were telling me work with government, so I was like, you know what, you people know what I don't know. So I hands up. Yeah. And then I got home by 11:30 because busy traffic. It was yesterday. Yeah.
I heard that traffic didn't have part 2, as they say.
Yeah. It was terrible. So happy, I can't even say happy holiday. Happy holiday. Happy holiday to every single one of us. The Muslims are still fasting today, and then tomorrow would be Eid itself, and then we have an extra holiday on Monday. So
nobody has said that too. Don't go announcing what has not been said for me.
We know
they come for you.
We know these things. We know because I had to. Because Eid is actually tomorrow. This holiday is
Eid is tomorrow. I mean, they have today to prepare for it.
No, today they are fasting.
Well, whatever. And then Friday, there's Saturday, there's Sunday. That is, weekend. I mean,
this Nigeria that we know.
There's absolutely no reason to extend to Monday, except that we are grossly responsible as far as I'm concerned.
But you know that once it comes to holidays, the Muslims don't play with their holidays. They will ask for their holidays. So
and they got it. They got the holiday.
No, they got it prematurely because whoever asked, they announced the holiday prematurely. They hadn't seen the moon.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm on the side of the Muslims. They hadn't seen the moon. Yeah. So because they have. And here's the thing, if you say, okay, it's 2 holidays, they're giving them Friday and Saturday, we already know that in Nigeria, once the holidays on Saturday, they move it to Monday. So, yeah. Because if they don't give them, it will start the whole argument of, but the Christians get 2 holidays. So give them their holiday. It's not like me benefiting really like that because me, I'll be at work. But give them their holiday.
Journalists are always whining about that.
I don't understand. We're working, we're saving lives.
It did. How many lives did you save in Maiduguri?
I'm reporting it. I'm doing better than some people. I'm reporting it.
Okay, now.
Yeah.
Thumbs up to you.
Thank you. I collect. Okay, let's get into it. We are live on YouTube at WFM917.com. You can listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917.com. Okay, starting off the Punch newspaper, we have 2027 Kwara Cross River mandate resignation for officials seeking office. The president actually started this, I think it was yesterday, I saw the headline where he was saying that if you want to reapply for office or something, then you should resign now. And I was like, sir, humble question, are you resigning? Because and so now
Okay, that doesn't get to him. That proviso does not affect him, I don't think, because you
can
can't,
argue that it should.
yeah, you can't leave the office in a vacuum, so he's still
Yeah,
within
but
his
the ones
realm.
that are resigning, are they not leaving the office in the vacuum?
Well, I don't think for the executive, I don't think for governors who want to contest again incumbent, I don't think that law also applies.
That's the
But,
them.
but for others, I mean, they are appointed positions.
Mhm.
Okay. So if you want to contest, excuse us, let's put somebody in there and then go and face what you're doing, or what you want to do. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
With that. Okay. I mean, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here because anyway,
But for those who hold executive positions, I mean, don't forget they have a term of years. So
yes.
if you tell them to step aside, the term of years is not complete. So
Fair.
that's it. Uh-huh.
That's fair. Okay, next up, that's fair. Let's move on. School children teacher escaped death in Lagos road crash. Next up, we have Guardian newspaper that says LP fixes May 23 for presidential primary, suspends 26 members. Also on the Guardian, we have Prince William, Princess Catherine receive Tinubu in historic UK state visit. We haven't had a state visit in over four, is it the six, over almost 4 decades? Yeah. And so, yeah, well, we'll see the benefits of these visits. We'll see as it unfolds, basically. Moving on to this day newspaper, we have IGP disburses over 2 billion naira life insurance benefits to 1,075 next of kin of deceased officers. Again, in the same paper, we have Tinubu First Lady arrive Windsor to meet King Charles, Queen Camilla. Moving on to the Daily Trust, Tinubu seeks UK's support to curb terrorism in Nigeria and Africa. Soludo sacks all political appointees. But if he sacks them now, is it okay with nobody being there, or is it sacking them to bring people in this like last year of
But no, the issue is when they say sack, I'm not even sure that's the right word, because what happens is if you have political interest, as in if you want to contest for a political office, then you are actually asked to resign, and so you can go in pursuit of it. I do not think that everyone in his cabinet, so to speak, would be interested in seeking political office. So if you're not seeking political office, there's absolutely no reason for you to go. All right. But if you're seeking political office, then you go and then they replace you with somebody else for the rest of the term. Ideally, that's how it operates, okay? But I think the word sack is quite is strong, because when you sack, there are other reasons why you sack an employee. Most of the time, for misconduct and all of that. So you're kind of giving the wrong impression with the wrong usage of words. Okay, so it would have been better, or maybe that's the representation by the newspaper that carried it.
maybe
It could be their own way of
rage bait. Fair. Okay. Moving on to the Vanguard newspaper, we have El Rufai's detention shows drift towards dictatorship. ADC tells Tinubu. Yesterday, I was on Twitter and I was seeing quite a few tweets that were talking about people calling people's attention to say, are you people realizing that we're moving to a one-party state? And I know that you always say we're not moving, we're already in a one-party state. But there was so much. The person was like, hey, Nigerians need to wake up and smell the coffee, right? And I'm not for or against this El Rufai and this whole El Rufai business, but I think for me, it's just what is beginning to look worrisome, where it now seems that, oh, are people being witch hunted? Now, I'm not saying that what El Rufai did was right, because what he did, because that's what they used to hold him, that he listened, he what's the word? He listened in on a conversation, or he tapped into somebody's phone, the CCSO's phone, and whatever. But you just begin to wonder, but you start seeing these moving pieces one by one. Oh, are we moving to a one party system? Okay, what's happening to El Rufai? Because as at last week, or was it early this week, they still haven't released him. ICPC said they're yet to arraign him, right? Which is weird, because in a country like Nigeria, where if they put their eye on you, any small thing, they've carried you to court. But with him, is deployed to keep him in the cell, in the holding cell for unlimited unlimited. Yes, an unlimited number of days that we don't know when he's going to come out. Is it intentional? What's the bigger play here? It's just the presidency might come in and say, oh, we're not aware, but sir, like we know, but it leaves me wondering, like,
Sometimes for me, when you look at Nigeria and the way we play our politics, sometimes, I personally consider this kind of conversation a waste of time. You know why? They're having,
why?
why is there with the people having a private party? Exclusive. That's just what it is. You think it's sitting in some cell room or some, it will just, they will be throwing banters, I imagine,
Oh, Lord.
and all of that. But it's all political drama. All right. You and I know, the way we roll in this country. It's a political drama. I mean, is in the opposition. If El Rufai had been cleared for a ministerial, appointment, his criticism of government wouldn't be, this deep, if at all he did criticize them. And then the APC itself, the government in power, would not be witch hunted. So it's just the game they play, and I think that Nigerians should kind of mature enough to ignore them. They do their party, and then they enjoy, citizens just talking about it, and while they're having their own fun. We have greater issues to settle in on.
Okay, let's keep it moving. We have bullying, and this one I'm so particular. We are going to get into it this morning. Parents, schools have more work to do to stop it. This is on the heels of. So I don't know if you saw that video in Benin of the two students from a particular school in Benin City, where two kids were bullying another kid. And I mean, I'd been avoiding it, but I said, look, you cannot avoid it. And that's always the issue being a journalist. I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. I can't. My heart cannot take it. But you have to do what you have to do. So I don't want to speak on this. We'll get into it when we get into the headlines this morning. Moving on to the Premium Times newspaper, we have EFCC returns 3.9 billion naira stolen funds to NNPC. In the words of Rose, who's not here this morning, the question is, this money that they're returning to NNPC, are we going to see it? Every time there's a war,
it's on paper, my dear. Let's get past this. I mean, all these monies that they are mentioning,
always has
the ICPC that is returning it is returning on paper. Abi, you see statement of accounts. Abi, you see cash. And the one that is supposed to be receiving it is receiving virtual money. So can we go?
Rose is always just so, she's like,
I mean, is there any accountability in this country?
No,
absolutely not. Okay. The interesting thing, every year we do budgets and all of that, I'm yet to see an income and expenditure, okay, return or accounting for the government. Because I mean, the question now, even as I think of it, is why not? So you make a budget, okay, of this amount of money for the year. The year ends, you go make another budget. Have you given us a lowdown, okay, a breakdown bit by bit of how the last budget was spent? Can we verify and all of that? I beg you.
Simba is over it. She's so over it. Next up, we
Mhm.
have police rescue 2, arrest 3 in Oyo, CRIN kidnapping. That's good. The Nation newspaper, we have NAFRC graduates 40 officers from its business crash course. Next up, we have NRC rolls out special salad train services nationwide. In the cable newspaper, we have Wike says it will be difficult for opposition to defeat Tinubu in FCT in 2027.
There's no opposition. Can we move on?
Diego, King Charles, so much of Britain's culture is profoundly enriched by Nigeria. Yeah, that goes without saying. Moving on to the Daily Post, we have blackout worsens in Nigeria as Gencos shut down gas plants over debt. Sumba, how's your light now?
Oh, interestingly, I slept with it overnight. It was taken just this morning. As I was trying to prep for the show this morning, where it went off. But now we all have our ways. We have a power pack. We have this. We have that. So it really, is not affecting me yet. But I was surprised because when I read that news item yesterday, I was like, oh, Paris. So how many days are we going to looking at? In my head, I was already working out, how do we navigate this now? And then as I was thinking it, the light came on. And then in 2 minutes it went off, and then it came back. I think maybe they did that 2 or 3 times and then eventually stayed. So
Okay.
yes, we were able to sleep well overnight.
Yeah, Abby, very important. I'm not moved. Governor Bala Mohammed dismisses rumors of PDP defection. That's what they all say until we see that they've moved. Tribune newspaper, we see Tinubu direct service chiefs to relocate to Maiduguri. Nemasa celebrates women, reaffirms inclusive maritime growth. Lastly, in the papers this morning, we have pen pushing Federal Road Safety Corps. Mobile courts convict 17 traffic offenders. Lastly, we have Nigerian Army. Nigerian Army troops kill 60 terrorists in Borno, repel midnight attack. Those are the headlines this morning from the dailies. You want to do well to get you a copy, or better still stick around with us as we get into the headlines for this morning. And I'm going to try to move away from politics this morning like we did, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, and let's talk about real Nigerian issues. The other ones we know that we cannot, we're not going to dwell on politics and then forget about our real life issues, basically. You can send your messages to 08155917917 or 0703-1756-537. Lines will be open shortly. But before then, we are just going to get right into it. This is still Women Radio 91.7 FM, the voice of women, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. And you can listen to us on the go via our website, www.wfm917.com, or we are live on YouTube at WFM917. You've been listening to the voice of Sumbo. Sumbo has been my co-host and co-analyst and analyst this morning. My name is Fumi. The time right about now is 9 minutes to 8, and we are just going to get right into it. I'm going to start off with this one from the Vanguard newspaper. Let me go to this one first about the bullying. From the Guardian newspaper. So, like I mentioned earlier, we all this particular piece of news has been since I think last week. The school, that's the Benedion Education Center, yes, Benin City, and we saw 2 students violently attack another student in school, and then a third one was videoing. Of course, eventually the school came out, they expelled the student question and then suspended the one who was videoing it. This week, I've been on social media and I've been seeing different videos of students, old students of this school, coming out to say what we saw is child's play. And I was so worried. I was troubled. I'm not even going to lie. We know that bullying is, some people see it as a rite of passage. So, for instance, you went to secondary school, you were in just as one, you got bullied by the seniors, and then when you get to SS1, SS2, SS3, you to start bullying because you believe that it is what is the culture of the school. I remember when I was in secondary school, the first secondary school I went to, it was a missions secondary school, and I maybe just as one to just as two, I'm not sure. I was working, and a senior in SS3 calls me to their class and says, "Go and buy me rice and then a drink." The rice with a plantain. She had a whole list. So I stood and asked her, "Okay, waiting for the money." And she said, "Will you get out of my sight? Go and buy it for me." And I honestly could not understand what she wanted me to do. This is me who comes from a humble background. My parents are pastors. My parents are literally, my mom was a teacher. My parents are pastors. My mom is a teacher. And it was a case of even coming to school in the morning, I was bringing food from the house, right? And days I don't have money to go to school, that's it. Like you open your mouth to attack money to fill you up. And then somebody tells me to go and buy food for them. I didn't understand it. So I went home and told my mom. My mom said, "Go back to school and go and tell the students that your mother said that you are not going to buy it." Naive me too. I went and I told her, my mommy said, "I'm not buying anything for you." I think it was just God's grace, to be honest, because nothing was done to me. But I know of my classmates who had to be punished because of that kind of thing. We've seen this play out time and time again. And what we're now seeing is that this particular school, the school is culpable in this kind of behavior. When I was reading the accounts of these students, I was like, so what happened to the teachers? Apparently, so the school is divided into two. There is the junior school and it is the senior school. The junior school has its own principal and vice principal. The senior school also has the same, but the students are afraid. Beg the pardon, the teachers are afraid of the students. That's not the only thing. The management of the school seems to be in on it in some way, because these students literally get away with these things and nothing is done. The only reason why we are seeing this is because of social media. But apparently, the students were saying that there are time and time again that students will bully students, they will report them, and nothing is done to the students. Now, in this article, a Lagos-based lawyer, Abdullahi Tony Daniel, he's saying they should arrest and prosecute those students. I don't know if you remember, Sumbo, a couple of years ago, there was a particular school in Lagos where I remember the boy's name, Sylvester, where the boy died, and there was a whole opera and nothing was done. Do I think that these children should be tried as adults? To be honest, I don't even know, because in my mind, in one hand, I'm like, they're not even up to 16, they're not up to 18, but on the other hand, you're like, for you to carry out this kind of wickedness, which kind of wickedness is pushing you to do this kind of thing? But I want to actually know your thoughts on this, because at this point, there needs to be greater punishment as to bullying, greater responsibility from the part of the schools as well, from the principal to the head of the school, whoever you are, teachers, making sure that this just dies a sudden death, because this is getting out of hand.
Well,
Wow, so
a very
compliment, I will take it.
A very serious story, actually, that one really should not be, laughing at. It's a whole load of stuff for me, and I don't think that in the time space that we have, we can even, attempt to take these things, these pieces, and to tease them out. Number one is the fact that, look, bullying has always existed in schools.
Mm-hmm.
maybe from way beyond before my time,
Oh
because
yeah.
okay, I mean, I as you speak, I remember a horrible situation that happened when I was in secondary school, and this was in the 70s. So you can imagine how way back. Now a young boy, I think he was a Form 1, that would be JSS 1 student,
Mhm.
whose organ was tied with a rope,
Yee,
and the rope was tied to the fan, and the
gee.
fan was turned on. And so
Oh.
as he rotated, and I mean, at the end of the day, I think that it was said that that young boy would not be able to father a child
Oh
after all.
gosh.
So the guy who was at the, you know, heart of that was expelled.
Mhm.
Now, question, expulsion. The same guy eventually went to another school.
Of course.
Okay. And I think, because I went to a federal government college, I think he went to yet another federal government college. You see, because it's a function of how well placed are your parents,
Yeah.
in the society, how connected are
Yeah.
they? Now, if there was no remedy found for that unfortunate, young boy, he would have ended up his life like that. What was his crime? His parents sent him to school.
Yes.
So bullying has always existed. And secondly, unfortunately, it has been taken to very high levels,
Mm-hmm.
to match the condition of our crime now. Now, if you ask me, first off, I would tell you that cultism is thriving in that school.
Mm.
And I would also tell you that drugs are very much involved. Okay. So those are two factors that we find all over our schools today, even on our streets. You and I know that cultism has gone so bad that it is found even in primary schools.
Yes.
So when you talk about looking for remedies, how do you fight that? Cultism found its way into this society, and has gone so high up that, and one thing that I also found out is that when you leave school, it doesn't end there.
Mm.
And I also know that there is connection between those in school and those outside of school to the high levels. So it's something that I really don't know how we want to take that out. Now, you look at drugs also. I mean, it's all over the place. You can get
Yeah.
it from anywhere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those two elements, and then you add it to the fact that the home is destroyed, the fabric of the home in this country, at least let's stick to Nigeria, is totally destroyed. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you don't have parenting anymore. Okay. And I will give an example of recently how a teacher in a school had been, alleged to have beaten up a child or slapped a child. And the parents of that child, and this is where, I couldn't get over it. Both the father and the mother of that child went to the school, located the teacher, and gave him the beating of his life. These things were on video.
Mm.
Okay, so when you have that at the background, the absence of quality parenting, that's a third thing to consider.
Yeah.
All right. Now, added to that is a nation that's where, a nation where impunity thrives, where there's no justice, where there's no, a nation where the rich have the poor for dinner. Okay, and nobody does anything. That's another thing to look at. Now, when it comes to the question of the teachers and the management of the school, here's what it is. By the time these children get to such heights, to the kind of thing that was displayed on video, the teachers have become paralyzed with fear because they are also not exempted. I'll tell you another true life story. Many years ago, some school around Isolo way, I mean, there's a market called Daleko
Mhm.
Market where they sell rice. There was some school around that area. Students got their teacher, female teacher, raped her in broad daylight in the compound, in the open field. And as they were taking turns, others were standing with a gun pointed.
Hmm.
So the teachers of today just go to school, do their bits, and they come out.
Hmm.
Nobody, scolds any child. Nobody tries to discipline any child because even your own life is in danger. These are students that they will wait for you outside. You know, that's another thing. Management also is so. Look, for you to have a school where there is a degree of sanity,
Mhm.
there must be as a good relationship between the school management and the parents.
Mhm.
They must come to a point of agreement. There must be rules that they will sit down to decide together. Okay? And there must be zero tolerance. That's the thing. Because my children went to secondary school, and bullying was the number one thing that was forbidden. You don't try it. As little as just you are out. You are out.
Good.
So and for you also to be able to succeed in that. No, one of the things that we need to do is to find out other ways of getting the attention of the children and
Yeah.
getting them excited.
Yeah.
And getting them excited. Do you understand? Now, in the absence of that, our children have energy that needs to be expended. So if you do not put something within that space, they would look for something and it would be eventually negative. Okay, now this is a topic I really want us to teach out because I don't know who is listening, who needs to
Yeah.
hear. When my older daughter was in secondary school, she became the head of a house, okay, the house prefect.
Mhm.
Up until the time she got to the school, the house had really never won any medal. Whatever it was just. And interestingly, when I got there and they said they had posted that to that particular house, and I asked, I said, they're always coming last. So I said, now she's here, it will be different. At that point in time, she hadn't been made a prefect. But
Mhm.
eventually, she became a prefect. And to let you know, you develop the skills of children, at a tender age. I don't know where she got the wisdom, but she said there were particular students in her house who were always losing house points. They were
Uh,
notorious for losing house points because, for everything you got house points, for every infraction you lost house points. And I mean, it was the cumulative points that would get you to win medals at the end of the day. Now, again, my daughter became the head of drama. That
okay.
was it. She just co-opted all of them into drama,
Mhm.
in a fun kind of setting. By the time they got into drama, the excitement, the drums, the whatever, and all, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
She said she could not believe it. It was like an unexpected outcome for her too.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, all the wala stopped. And she said the one that now hit her was that at the end of every term, they would give an award for those who made 3.5 GPA and above.
Yeah.
And the most notorious child also, now that when they announced the name in the assembly went into an uproar.
Of course.
Because academically too, he was always, so you could see the nexus
Yeah.
between channeling the attentions and the energies of a child into something, constructive, something exciting for their age, and,
Mhm.
a character became changed, academic, competence became changed. So we need to become innovative. and to begin to find ways. And also, one of the things I also find out is that no matter how bad a child is, there are some teachers that carry the attention and the,
Yep.
affection of these children. Do you
Yes.
understand? We must begin to locate those kind of teachers.
Yes.
I did A levels at FSN. I will never forget the man we called Action Man. He passed us a few years ago. Action Man
Mm.
was tall. He used to be the one that used to anchor the game mastermind in those days. He always worked about it again. You understand? But you enter Action Man's office at any point in time, you will see how many students there. He's throwing banter to talk, he's shouting, and all of that. But when it came to the discipline, you just see the game, papa. That kind of thing. There was a lot of love for the man.
What a
Okay,
man.
so such that at the end of it, we located him again and began to, the ex-students, old students began to give money, began to take care of him and all of that. So, that's these are things we need to look forward to. In our time, there were many things that could take the attention of the child. There was literary and debating society, there was girl
Yes.
guide, there was boys brigade, there was
Yes.
brownies. You
Yes.
understand? There was
Yes.
there was sports. Okay, there was principal's club. My dear, there were so many things that we thrived on. But all of those things have been taken over, and then you now have this stupid thing, demonic thing called social media. And I think the last thing I want to mention in that video is that they now had the audacity not only to video that action, but to also release the
Upload
video.
it.
Now. So those are, and the principal. So Obiti Oba come when
Oh my God.
call atomu furenta. Do you understand? If you cannot, because these children come from homes, and then you see the parents of one of them coming to apologize. Apology is not enough. How did you raise a monster under your watch?
Yeah.
So if the children are minors, okay, there are what do you call it, remedies for minors. So in our time, there was remand home, there's juvenile, whatever. Let them go and throw them wherever, but sometimes you get to a point where a minor will be prosecuted as an adult. There was one I saw recently. This boy had killed his own young sister. Maybe I think he put the sister in the oven or some crazy thing where America
I,
they play, and the child died. So I think he was maybe just a 12-year-old or something. Look, I'm not sure it was immediate the case had been on, but eventually they sentenced him, and he threw tantrums in the courtroom. I don't want to go. I want to go home. Yeah. Say, Toba Moba Shen Panyo.
You can't exactly.
Do you understand what I'm talking about? These are evil. So for the children, but the parents also. You understand? I don't know if that law exists, but they should find a way of putting that law. You understand? And let the parents to face some very serious consequences. Just like a landlord's house will be demolished if you harbor a kidnapper in it, which tells me that then we begin to get careful. We begin to pay much attention because these children must have been displaying some of these traits at home, and the parents just overlook them. And then the rich. Igbinedion Education Center is not a government, it's not a public school. I'm not even sure it's a school within the middle cadre where just you and I can say it must be top notch. Okay? In Edo State, in Benin. So those kind of schools also have their madness. I can tell you, they are the ones that started, you don't beat, you don't touch, you don't da. Do you understand? Let them carry their rubbish. They should be. And again, what are the regulatory bodies doing? Because every time you see the National Commission or whatever, who is supposed to be checking these schools, you see them go, you know what they do? I have a first cousin who has a school. Once they are coming, they already have put aside envelopes for them and sumptuous lunch. So they just go here, they collect envelope, eat better food and go. They have certified you. That's what they do. Do you understand? All this education office. So for me, we can never exhaust this topic.
This
It's
topic.
a headed thing that we need to pay attention at every point in time. So every Nigerian, every one of us is indicted in the case.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Stumbo. I mean, I absolutely agree with you. When you said even up until primary schools, yes. Absolutely. I remember when I was in primary school, there's just 1 year between my brother and my brother had I don't want to call it a gang. He had a group of boys that always followed him and called him master. We didn't know this, right? And we don't know how it started. But what we knew or how we found out was that, and he'll be walking and he'll be walking. So we had to now, I think they had to sort out the boy, his arm and everything. That was one. The next thing, his arm and everything. That was one. The next thing they did was my dad. I don't remember my dad beating my brother, but I remember my dad disbanding whatever it was that they were doing. So, because they used to carry my brother's bags for him. Imagine, like you get to school, friend that get to school, oh, you're happy to see your mate. He didn't know that Capone is coming. Every time we want to tease my brother, and to be fair, like they didn't even know what they were doing. So my dad disbanded. I said, like, yeah, if I see anybody carry your bag for you, one thing, that kind of thing. So again, in my dad's case, it took the boy's arm being broken for us to notice that, oh, there's fire on the mountain.
Something was going on.
Teachers in the school, I'm sure we're noticing it because they were the ones that said, oh, we noticed that. So there's a greater responsibility, like you already said, upon, I mean, everybody, all the stakeholders they should be called.
Everybody. You see, talk about the old time religion. Talk about, that song, give me that old time religion.
Yeah.
Talk about give me that old time discipline in my house. You don't even need my father on this case. So it's my mother. That's your birthday, case come. My mom will, but I say, oh, thank you very much. They will bring you home in your life.
You will never.
My mother could ground you for 1 month every single day. She was a teacher. There were some things that the fear of my mother would not push you to do.
Yeah.
Do you understand? But we don't pay attention anymore. We send the child to school and that's it.
Absolutely.
Nobody is interested. Nobody goes through their books. Nobody asks questions. Do you understand? And my first semester in school, we finished the exam. Then I got home and said the result. So I had written it out. You know how they do on campus now? They just paste the result on the notice board and all of that. And so I had copied it out and gave my mother said, as you are looking like this at me, I look like a parent that if you said they said you write this journal now, that what's the meaning of this one that you use hand to write? My friend go and collect. Do you know it was that singular instruction was what made me understand that at the end of every semester, you can collect your results in the university. By the time I was graduating, my entire transcripts were in my hand. It's still there out. Because I had to go and find, I now got they directing me, okay, go to exams and all of that. By the time I located where, the person who was on that seat said, is your mother a teacher? I said, yeah, I want on. At the end of every stamped everything from the faculty. Are you okay?
Let's take some messages this morning. This one is from Olusoga Ajay. He says, good morning, Mr. President should curtail excuse me, his incessant foreign trips and settle down to some of the challenges facing the country, ranging from insecurity, hunger, hardship, high cost of living, among other things. And I find this very interesting because we haven't had any, what was it that Emmanuel said on Monday? Assurance from the presidency with regards, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Is that evangelist?
Good morning, Mother.
It is, yes.
Good morning,
Good
Madam.
morning, Evangelist Dixon.
God
How are
bless
you?
Good morning,
I
no.
still time to listen to you. Good morning, my sister. God bless you.
Amen.
Parents should be held accountable. I said it yesterday. How our own parents got us, is how we are bringing up to the top.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why. In those days, if you mess up, if teacher beats you, you tell them on the course, the parent will add. So you dare not do that because they know before you start doing it. But today, they say no beating. But today, do you know that teachers are not afraid of the students? They can do anything. What do you expect? And most of these children now, they can do anything. The students are afraid. They not join court. You see there some of them carrying drugs. And some of them are parents doesn't even have time. They cannot do everything. Parents have to do because if society don't hold them responsible, God will hold them responsible. I mean, in those days when my children in the capital, my last one, he told me that I will do this and very big and if anybody mess up, I will deal with that person. The day he beat my daughter, I took him to police station. Sometimes I didn't listen to the mother. That changed him automatically. I'm not doing it anymore. I didn't listen to the mother. That was what do you know that sometimes when my daughter is in the lab, sometimes I drive there, I will just sit there in the place, you will not see me. I will be watching them. It's only their friend that you tell them that I are dedicated.
Yeah, way.
So that fear was on them. They jealous. The type of people they are moving with, the type of friend they are keeping. And I find their back when they don't even expect it. I find anything they know me. When I bring them out, they thought that already is treated. They can't now they go, they know that daddy was doing it for them. And thank God they are all listening. Parents should be held accountable. Many parents are saying, and that in society is what it is today. As reality is, someone saying this thing, today will not be enough. But parents should train their children. You remember Eli, what happened? Eli, and Abraham, daughter, and Abraham. It's not teach our children. It's not teach you kids. It's the family that see the home, family that see the church. We say political leader are said. Most of us are said, even the religious leader also. God the airport is welcome. God bless you. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's get back to the messages. Olivia says that the president should curtail his trips and settle down on some of the challenges. I was saying that Emmanuel had said one of the things that our government lacks is how to give us assurance. We've not had any form of assurance from the presidency. All we've heard is that they're going. It is well with us.
Assurance of what?
That's the fuel price now. I don't.
Assurance. Somebody is having
If
a
not going
banquet
through
in London. You are talking assurance.
Okay. Next up, we have good morning, ladies, and a wonderful morning to the listening audience. Just you both had an amazing night. We did. Somebody said she slept well. They were glad. Indeed, like you cited, bullying has been an age-long practice that we've been allowed to thrive unabated in our secondary schools, and it's now finding its way even into the primary school setting. I recall way back as a secondary school boarding student, we didn't even comprehend what was being done to us as bullying until we began to see it in that light. The ripple effect of what this anomaly turned normal menace has caused in the life and times of students is not only hazardous but disastrous. A child or student who has been bullied before, who has been once bullied in life, grows up feeling intimidated, portrays signs of low esteem, and in adverse cases also goes about unleashing terror and mayhem on other students in retaliation. The earlier this evil vice, which is slowly crippling the educational sector and lives of our kids, is nipped in the bud, the better for society, because as parents, our joy is complete when we are rest assured that our children can grow up in a safe and viable school environment of learning. Wishing you all an awesome holiday period that you are not having. Fumi Unto, wow. No holiday for you as an essential worker. Best regards, Mrs. Oboli. Wow, Mrs. Oboli. You just came to shoot gun at me. It's okay. Oh, Mr. Oboli, is the student that not pick your call? I already dragged them. I was so sorry that we didn't pick your call. Okay. Wow. Next up, we have, please kindly help to shout out to the federal government, Lagos State and Ogun State, all law enforcement agencies comprising federal government, Lagos State government, and Ogun State government to please go to Kara Bridge outward and inward Lagos and clear the terrible and notorious traffic that is there now, says Benga. Well, see, when we talked about this, I think a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, when in the headlines, because Rose we were talking about headlines, and then Rose said she had an experience in going to the office. We literally said that this doesn't make any sense. Like, you can do this work at night. You don't have to wait. And you would think that it's because there are potholes on the road. There are no potholes on the road because I go to the office. It's those metallic things that join the road
The joints.
at night. It's not that there are potholes on the road. We need to find a better way to sort out road, whatever. And I say it all the time. When there's small injury on the road, they don't go until it is absolutely bad. The traffic,
Is wickedness now.
the
How
traffic,
else do you explain that today is public holiday?
and there's traffic.
They have fitries. If fitri, I usually mix
Yeah,
them up. It's
yeah,
coming up in a couple of days. This axis is the axis of
going out.
travel.
Yeah,
Why is it a day to the public holiday that you went and shut the road?
yeah,
You've been shouting you are going to close the road. You've been giving different dates. People have been psyching themselves up for it. And then when you are expecting the greatest amount of traffic is when you now went to say you want to close it. I said there's
yeah.
wickedness, there's mental poverty, there's everything. I was reading through the platform of my estate yesterday. And people were literally just talking about how they sat in the traffic for 6 hours, maybe even from Kara or from the Long Bridge. And one person said, well, after doing 2 hours, I had to find, I went back. I think it was still in a place where I could turn, or maybe he just followed one way and went back to sit in the office. That maybe when it's 1 a.m., the road
You
was
go.
clear. He works in Alausa. That means what kind of traumatic experience do you put people through? Okay, I went for the funeral of a friend's father in a place called Agilete, this city, Rocco Road. I spent six hours on that journey. 4.5 hours of the 6 hours, I was traversing a road, a stretch that was not more than 1.5 kilometers. It's a good thing that I didn't drive, because maybe my enemy would have passed out. Do you understand? You want to take a pee, there's no way you want you drink. There must not be an emergency. Just madness everywhere. It's government.
So we're joining Benga to call on the government, whoever at this point, all the stakeholders,
And
because
this Lagos and Ogun State.
yeah, like it's literally in the
Ogun State particularly. Ogun State behaves like we don't have a government. But let me not come and shout that here before they come and want to close down your station.
Anyway, with that being said, this is a good place to close out the program this morning. I mean, I don't know, we couldn't go to the other headlines, but yeah, it's just as well. Again, we're pleading on the government. This Kara Road, I beg. We're using God to beg you. We're using you to beg you. We're using everybody to beg you.
1 minute, while we are at it, while we are at the point of fixing the road, can somebody please do something about that environment? It traumatizes me. The pool, it's filthy. I don't have words to describe it. And government officials responsible are passing that road, or they are flying helicopter. Do you understand? That filth in front of OPIC, the place has become a motor park, a trailer park. OPIC is one of the biggest estates of Ogun State. Shame on the government.
Anyway, there's just so many things. If we start outlining it, where will we start from? Abi? We cannot even end. Okay, Sumba, thank you so much for coming on the program today. Enjoy this long holiday.
Enjoy your holiday that is no holiday.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. At 9 o'clock is the news. 9:05 is her lunch this morning. Stick around with us. We still have a great program. And many thanks to every single caller and every single person that sent in a message to us as well. You're the reason why we're doing this, and you're the reason why this program is dynamic and does well. Thank you so much. Catch you same time tomorrow for another edition of the Daily News Review. We have been said bye. Bye for now.